OutFront now, Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee. So, Congressman, this issue of statehood, Putin predicting that Ukraine's statehood would soon be in question as he is mocking the counteroffensive that they have put on. Do you have any doubt as to what he's saying when he says that their statehood is at risk?
No, not at all. And thank you. You summed it up perfectly at the top of this segment. That's exactly what Putin has been after from the beginning. And so many people have sort of helped him do that by claiming that, oh, Putin would have made peace if we had just said, you know, Ukraine won't join NATO or any number of other things that simply aren't true. You perfectly summed up what Putin's objective is. And right now, the group that's helping Putin in that objective more than any is the Republican Party in the House and the Senate, by refusing to pass the supplemental aid package that the president has proposed that would help Ukraine in this fight.
Do you have any sense that there's any possibility of a breakthrough on that?
Well, the president's called a meeting at the White House yesterday with some leaders. The pressure is growing. And look, the frustration here is I know that there are Republicans who don't support Ukraine. J.D. Vance, Matt Gaetz, they've made their arguments. I totally disagree with those arguments. I think they're disingenuous, but that's what they believe. The real problem now is all of the Republicans here who claim to support Ukraine, who claim that they don't want to support Putin. They don't want to see Putin succeed. They support Ukraine. They're going to support an aid package, and they just don't do it. And now they've tied it to a very complicated fight over the border. I would ask that the Republicans do what Mike Johnson, the Speaker, said they would do, which is not abandon Ukraine. Speaker Johnson made that clear when he got the job. I hope he lives up to that commitment.
And you just mentioned the border, which, of course, in the GOP eyes, should be tied to this funding as well as other issues. You know, I spoke the other day with the former DNI for President Obama, James Clapper, and I asked him whether he was worried about the border, the southern border, in particular for whether, you've got a 250,000 people in December crossing over illegally, whether that really is a risk of people who wish to do America harm, whether it be from Russia or from Yemen or wherever it might be. Here's how he responded.
I've gotten very concerned about it. The composition of the border crossers has changed a good bit since my day. And now it's much more international. There are Chinese, Russians, and others. This is a serious national security concern.
Congressman, do you agree with him?
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, the border is a threat for that reason. It's also a threat just because so many of our cities and communities are being overwhelmed by migrants that we cannot support. Look, we need to reform border policy. Ironically, part of the block now is you have House Republicans saying that they don't support the negotiation that the Senate Republicans are engaged in to get a border policy deal because they don't want to lose the political issue against President Biden in this election year. I mean, yes, we need border reform, but we need the Republicans to come to the table in an honest way to get us there.
All right. Well, Congressman Smith, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being with me tonight.
Thanks, Erin.